Hopefully you got your wine, your chips, you're set up for Steele and Vance. Come on in here. It's the Vancouver studios for CHEK. You are watching Steele and Vance, and we got a lot to get to. Last week at this time, Linda, we were talking about waiting for the final say on Surrey Police Service.
Yeah, and you know what? We still don't have an answer, which makes me crazy because the Public Safety Minister, the Solicitor General, came out and he said, I strongly recommend that Surrey continue on with the transition, not go back to the RCMP.
And here's a bunch of money.
Right. And the mayor said, nope. It was like about an hour after that news conference, and we're going to stay with the RCMP, and that's still my decision. And so that sort of started this meme that was a bit amusing because
this is pretty funny,
the province was saying, well, we will give you a bunch of money to stay with the transition. You can trade it all for what's inside this box the Mountie had. And the mayor, the box, what do I choose? I'll tell you what, we're going to talk more about this, but it is enough to make you want to drink.
Pour of the week time. Let's go.
So our friends at Cascadia Liquor, locally owned and operated, have served up for us this evening. It is a gin cocktail from Dillon's, and we are currently tasting the tangerine and lemon, and it's quite nice, actually.
It is quite lovely.
Yeah.
I got the blackberry one.
Yeah.
It's tasty. It's different. It's a little bit sweeter than what I'm used to. But
Thursday,
thank you,
everybody
Cascadia
can
Liquor. We need
chill
a little
out
kick.
Bit.
Yeah, a little kick.
We do appreciate our friends at Cascadia Liquor. Okay, we are not done though with the Surrey Police because we're going to get into that with someone who's a little bit more embedded.
Indeed. Well, our legislative correspondent at CHEK News, Rob Shaw, is going to be with us to give us some perspective on just exactly how this is all unfolded. And Linda, we say this just, full disclosure, you are married to the chief of the Surrey Police Services, so you have a very unique perspective here. Important, in my opinion, to hear from you. I have family members in law enforcement, and this affects everybody, not just the taxpayer, not just the people of Surrey, but now it affects all of British Columbia, and Rob Shaw is going to break down exactly why. So we're going to do a meaty segment.
Because
what's happened, why it's happened, where it's going.
Yeah. You might be on the island going, I don't care about what's happening in Surrey, unless you're going to pay for it.
It affects all of us and our safety across this province, and it's really important. So stay tuned for that. We are going to unpack it in a way that makes a lot of sense.
We're also going to stay on policing because you may have been watching this story involving the Vancouver police. Has to do with a young man from the island, actually named Miles Gray, who was beaten to death.
Tragic story.
By the VPD 8 years ago, and we're learning a lot about that. The officers have not been held responsible yet, and
they still have their jobs. And it was ruled a homicide now. That was the big news this week. Is that it was
homicide also means a death. It doesn't necessarily mean they were murdered.
But there were only so many people there.
Yeah. Oh no. Exactly. For sure. Another thing that again has to do with policing, and this is in a much broader way. You remember that story with the couple from Surrey that were going to plant pressure cooker bombs at the legislature on Canada Day in 2013. This is a documentary about that and how police will entrap people in multiple situations. This is just a taste of the documentary.
Since the onset of the War on Terror, we have seen how the majority of these terrorism prosecutions have relied on incitement by informants, including the targeting of individuals who are vulnerable and targeted because they were vulnerable. The Karodi and Nuttall case is the most prominent instance of this.
So the documentary producer, Amy Miller, will join us a little bit later in the show, and it's fascinating stuff.
It is so interesting. And that might sound like a lot of policing, but it's very different and diverse in terms of what we're going to be talking about, and we'll land it on your kitchen table. What I know will land on your kitchen table is the concerns over affordability with regard to rental stocks in this province. And one of the issues that we touched on back when the strata rules, the new strata rules came into effect by the province, saying we got to find a way to find more rentals for people, but didn't address Airbnbs. We are going to do that on today's show.
Well, and we're also going to jump off that crazy story on the Sunshine Coast where the girls' weekend and they find out that there are cameras embedded inside the outlets in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
This is nuts. But further to your comment, there's a whole lot of housing stock tied up in Airbnbs, and so we are going to be talking to the executive director of the Condo Homeowners Association of BC, Tony Gioventu, and he has some thoughts on where the province should be directing its attention these days.
He's our strata correspondent. We're just going to own him now as our strata correspondent. But it's been a very busy week, and we always promise to watch the news for you. So it is time for... Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Can we talk about this crazy thing? There was a guy whose relative, I think a brother, died of an overdose recently.
Yeah.
And so he said, you know what, there's no safe supply or not enough and for everyone and not accessible enough. So he has set up this mobile illegal drugstore. It's in the downtown east side. This guy is selling a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, we have a photo of his things that he's selling. Crack cocaine, meth, MDMA, heroin. That's how much it costs. He claims it's all fentanyl free, it's all tested. And I'm saying, really? We're supposed to believe you? I mean, how do we know? How do you know when you're going to pay your $250 for a gram of whatever that you're trusting some ding dong who's selling drugs out of a mobile home that it's all going to be safe? I agree that probably there are a lot of people who would prefer to know that they're going to take a drug that they're not going to die from.
Yeah, people
But
who
you're
are
gonna trust
addicted.
This guy? I'm
Just
not
how we
sure.
were talking to Jennifer and John Hedekin last week about that's where it falls down, is that 80% of the people who die of the toxic drug supply in this province are not on the downtown east side. They're people living in communities across this province.
Right.
And maybe this individual is just looking to make a statement here.
Oh,
and
yes.
maybe it's just a moment and an opportunity to be a headline, to draw attention to it, to maybe show the province what they might do or show the federal government what they might do in order to create a safe supply. But it might also have
make a bunch of money?
It might also have an unintended lever that makes both the provincial NDP as well as the BC United Party to maybe walk back the legalization or the decriminalization, because it's not actually having the impact that maybe were expected to be had. So I want to keep my eye on that as well. I think this person is definitely making a point, and how it plays out from here. You made the comment about how we've seen drug dispensaries and psilocybin dispensaries now that are unregulated that are opening.
Yeah,
and
you
this
have
is
no
just
idea what's in it.
No.
It's not regulated.
No.
I saw somebody on Reddit today say, oh, that'd be great. I could go buy my crack from government test. I was like, this has nothing to do with the government. This is some guy who's buying drugs in the black market.
Might have the best of intentions, though.
Well,
Might
if
have
he
the
had
best of intentions.
He could be giving it away for free.
Yeah, but I'd like to know where he's getting his.
The black market, obviously.
Well, I'd be interested to hear that from him. So maybe that's something we
Well,
go
nobody's
and search
making heroin legally right now.
But maybe he is testing it. That's my point. There might be something to this that isn't just ding dong, is my take on this. I don't agree with it.
doubt it. Anyway.
But anyway,
Okay.
I want to know something else I don't agree with. What's happening in BC hockey with regard to a Surrey coach who has been relieved of his duties. This is Brian McGilvery, who parents are really up in arms over this. The parents of the under 11, so this is 10 and 11-year-old kids, whose coach has been fired basically for stopping a game in the midst of what was a barrage of racial slurs from 10 and 11-year-olds on the ice. This is an unbelievable story. We wanted to just draw your attention to it. Look it up. You can see it in the Surrey Now Leader. There's a really good article about it. But this is just the fact that it's this coach that stopped the game where racism was happening with 10 and 11-year-olds and not the other coach that had racist slurs being hurled around on the ice. That one is the headline and the other is not, is just astounding to me.
Let's get to some of the natural disasters that are taking place. We have some huge, crazy, devastating flooding that's going on in Cache Creek right now in the interior. We've got houses being lost. The Cache Creek is at the highest level that the mayor says he's ever seen it at. And then we have wildfire season starting early as well.
We got a wildfire ban already in place. It's May the 4th and here we go in the Caribou Center. It's really, I mean, here we got to be prepared. We do.
On the upside, it looks like we finally have an end to the PSAC strike with the federal workers. CRA workers were kind of the holdouts, but they signed on, I believe, in the last 24 hours.
They did.
So
Tentative
hopefully
agreement.
we're not going to see any more sort of work shortages going on there.
And what's happening with regard to the federal government and the CSIS stuff, honestly, Linda?
Okay, so we have a Conservative MP who's been told by CSIS that his family was being targeted by people in China, bad actors, because they were mad that he had voted in the House of Commons, I believe even presented a motion, that China was guilty of genocide in relation to the Uyghurs.
Right.
So they were targeting his family, and apparently, allegedly, the PMO knew about it and didn't tell
Years
this
ago.
particular MP.
Yeah.
who's furious about it. And they said, well, Trudeau and his public safety minister said, we didn't know until Monday. But then CSIS, the head of it, just called this MP and said, no, we told everybody.
Both of us were watching Question Period today. Not something that we typically do on a sunny afternoon, but there we were watching
Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Sunny afternoon in what is often a rainforest. But it's quite something. We'll keep you posted on that subject. We also got to keep you posted on the
royal couple?
The royal couple, because that is huge. The coronation. Are you prepared? Are you good? Strawberries and whipped cream? What are you doing, Linda?
I'm just going to wait to catch a highlight. I'm not getting up. I think it's 2:00 in the morning, live Pacific. And whatever. There's a lot of people excited, so I'm happy for you if you're excited.
I think coverage starts at 1 a.m., technically. Yeah. A couple of other things. Ed Sheeran won his court case. That was huge. He did not rip off Let's Get It On.
Yeah, you know what? I listened to those songs back to back and I was like, I don't know. So he really blasted everybody outside of court.
And
also, Gordon Lightfoot, we all know, and everybody is still, speaking out about how amazing this man was. This singer-songwriter is just getting accolades around the world.
So rest easy, Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
You live on in our hearts and in our minds. Coming up later in the show, we're going to talk Airbnbs.
No, are we not going to say it's May the 4th?
Oh, right.
May the 4th be with you.
Ta-da!
Yeah, well, even our Premier David Eby was getting in on it. Check out these photos today in the ledge.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Baby Yoda.
Somewhere John Horgan is twisting because it's Star Wars versus Star Trek. So,
Star Trek.
I am a huge Star Wars fan,
right.
and I love this.
Me, not so much. Okay, go ahead.
All right, we are going to talk about Airbnbs and rental stocks, and you'll be shocked at the number of Airbnbs that are taking up our rental stocks.
And straight ahead, policing standoff in Surrey. What happens next and when? Plus, the death of a young BC man at the hands of police in Vancouver has many people calling for body-worn cameras.